Hello everybody, I thought I'd break away from all the chores and everything that seems to be happening, getting ready for Christmas and also sorting out some various healthcare things for David, and I thought I'd go down to one of my shelves down here because everybody really enjoyed my last book cube tour. So yeah, here we go. We'll see how many I've read out of this lot, see what's got to go on my TBR for next year out of this cube. Not so bad last time. Right, number 1, Room, Emma Donoghue. I read this a long time ago when it first came out, before it got all the hype and the film and everything else. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, I thought it was an excellent book. It's from a true story, if you're not already aware of it. I won't want to go and watch the film, I don't think. It's quite a grueling book in its content because of looking at a girl was abducted. I'm thinking I've been watching the Box of Delights with David, and the kids there say they've been scrobbled. Means they've been abducted. Oh, they've gone and scrobbled them. So she was abducted and had a baby to her captor in captivity. Excuse me, very well written. So read, book that I've read. Next, Little Nothing. Lovely cover. Marissa Silver. Loved this book as well. Magical realism. Quite an unusual book. But it's got a love story running through its theme. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that. Bit of a foxy fox fur cover. Enjoyed that. The Book of You. And I haven't got a clue about this one. Claire Kendall. I think it's a bit of a psychological thriller. You left me no choice, Clarissa. I just want to take you home, Clarissa. I know your darkest secrets, Clarissa. Clarissa is frightened of her colleague, so yeah. So that's on my TBR. Requiem, Claire Francis. Loved this. I like Claire Francis as a writer. Very good mystery, family drama, usually very detailed plots. I mean, it's massive, but read it quite quickly because it's so engaging. So thank goodness I have read it when you see the size of it. So yeah, I want to keep that because I will read it again. Sophie Hannah, Kind of Cruel. Everybody's heard about Sophie Hannah, I'm sure. She's a Sunday Times top 10 best-selling author. Usually psychological thrillers. I don't think I've read this. She knows it's not normal for 4 members of your family to disappear one Christmas morning and reappear the next day, refusing to explain or speak of it ever again. Ooh, somebody's broken in. So no, I don't think I've read that. I'm getting my piles mixed up here. That I've read. That needs to go on there. Next, The Lilac Girls. This is by Martha Hall Riley. Absolutely loved this. I read this January 2017, and this will be featuring on one of my top 10 books for 2017. This is World War II fiction, and really enjoyed that. I had to keep that out really for when I do that film for you. A Rising Man, Abir Mukherjee. Now this is introducing Captain Sam Wyndham. It's a new crime. It's based over in India in the time of the Raj. I wasn't overly thrilled with it. I couldn't get into the characterizations, but there's been a lot of praise for it. David's read this and he feels it's got a lot of potential and he enjoyed it more than I did. So I think I'm going to give it another go. I believe his second book's out now in this series. So yeah, I'll put that on the TBR. Doing the big ones first. Tsunami Kids. Now I think I featured this in one of my wrap-ups. The Gandhi brothers, our survival journey from survival to success. Bless them, they were involved. The 2 brothers were no, I think there were 4 kids altogether actually. Yeah, no, there's 4 of them. 2 of the eldest brothers have written this. They were caught up in the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami. Unfortunately, their parents lost their lives. It's a very good book, but it's not all doom and gloom. It showed how they've gone, you know, that incident shaped their lives. They've gone on to make their parents very proud. They've set up their own very successful business, and it's well worth a read. And actually, I'll just take a moment to say, I think it was yesterday, or was the day before, 1988, the Lockerbie Air disaster, and 2004 Boxing Day tsunami disaster. So just, you know, I'm just their friends and families, just, you know, thoughts and prayers go out to them, because they, you know, they've survived awful things that happen in the world. And, you know, this is an amazing book. Red pile. The Girl Who Saved the King of Sweden, and this is by Jonas Johansson. Now this is, I will say that there's the 2, because the other one I've got is The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of a Window, is it? Yeah, Who Climbed Out of a Window and Disappeared, by the same author. I've not read this one yet, but a lot of people thought this was weird, wacky, not quite sure. I think it's a Marmite type book. You either love it or you hate it. I really enjoyed it. You've got 2 parallel plots, although we've got this somebody that's deciding that they're going to kill off the King of Sweden, and we've also got a young girl that's ended up in the middle of some sort of scam about nuclear weapons and bombs and things, and the 2 paths cross at some point. I really enjoyed it. You know, I'm looking forward to reading this 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared. The international best-selling sensation. The titles seem to be getting longer, don't they? So we've got that one that's going on red, that one to go on my TBR. Things we have in common. Tasha Kavanagh. I think this was up, actually, it won a prize. I can't remember which one it won now, but it did win. I'm not sure if it was the Booker Prize or not the Booker Prize. I can't remember now, sorry. I should have looked it up, I suppose. Yes, I enjoyed this. It's a mystery, crime. There's a little bit of coming of age in there, and a bit of, you know, I think the moral is be careful who you trust. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Don't be fooled by this. Oh, it's a sweet little doggy on the front, and that's what it's about. No, it's quite a gritty, I wouldn't give it 5 stars, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good plot, good characterisations, and I will read it again, hence why I've kept it. What have we got next? Dorothy Coomson, The Rose Petal Beach. I think I featured, if you look up in my backlist, I did feature a video about everything that had got roses on the front, or rose petals, or rose in the title, and this was one of them. This is an excellent psychological thriller. Excuse me. I did a buddy read with this with my friend Lisa from Books and Smiles, and we thoroughly enjoyed that. Well worth. I think it's been made into a TV adaptation, certainly over here in the UK. So red. Peter Robinson, one of my favourite crime authors. I've read quite a lot of his. I've not read this one. In a Dry Season. So it's DCI Banks, the series about him. And we have got the TV adaptation as well over here. And it's, I'm trying to think who plays him. And he's a bit, you know, a bit lush, as they say in Wales. He's lush. Tomlinson? No. In that was in the Professionals. No. Who is it, David? Are you sure it's not him that played Judge Dredd? Deed.
It was Tompkinson.
It was Tompkinson that was in the thing over in South Africa.
Yeah.
Was it him?
Yeah.
I've forgotten his first name.
Stephen.
Is it?
Stephen Tompkinson.
Yeah. I'm thinking. Whatever, does it matter?
No.
Yeah, no. Peter Robinson, great crime author. I fancy rereading all his actually. So I've not read that. TBR. Arrest the Bishop. Oh yes, let's arrest the Bishop. These were kindly sent to me by the publishers. I already did something about that. Yeah, these have been reissued. I'm trying to think the original 80s. Is it 1882? This authoress, and born in and died in 62. Really, I like that, very Art Deco. I don't think I've read that. I've read this one though, Richardson's First Case. This is an Inspector Richardson mystery, Basil Thompson. Really enjoyed that. I'm going to get more of that series. And yeah, thanks to DSP for kindly sending those to me. We've got quite a few in that series, so that'd be great. What have we got here? Now this is a really old battered book, Contemporary Verse and Anthology. It's got ink all over it, and it's my mum's. It says Patricia Nelson C3. So I'm in my mum's 79, 80 next year, so one of her lovely poetry books. I like having old books from I like collecting old books anyway, but they're especially precious when they're from my mum and dad or my grandparents. The Adventures of Peter and Tim. This is another really old one. This has got, and I don't know if you can put that really close to see if you can see that. This was awarded to my dad, and it was first prize awarded at Sunday school. Oh. And The Adventures of Peter and Tim. I mean, look how aged the papers are. Very precious. Tarot. This is a big set. It's not a true book as such. It's a lovely set that I think David got me a couple of Christmases ago. You've got some information in there. These are actually what I use for teaching students, because I do teach them. And so yeah, they're great. The large, extra large cards for teaching purposes really. We've got the King of Swords there. Yeah, so it might not be everybody's bag, but they are, you know, I've got quite a few sets. Some people just collect tarot cards and books anyway, but these are beautifully illustrated, and yeah, what I use for teaching my students. Put them away, and a little explanatory book in there. So that's them. I have got a shelf with all sorts of things to do with meditation and all sorts on another shelf, and I suppose that should have been on there really. Now that's ended up on this shelf. And then we've got a couple of Agatha Christie's. These are the Tippy and Tommy. Not Tippy and Tommy at all, the Tommy and Tuppence. Tommy and Tuppence series. Partners in Crime. So Agatha Christie, Tommy and Tuppence series. So these are really Agatha Christie's Cozy Crime series, if you've not come across them before. And they're okay. You know, they're very cozy. They're very... I think if you didn't know they were written by Agatha Christie, it wouldn't hit you in the face, you know, that it was her that had written them. They're okay. You know, they're okay for a bit of light relief. I prefer the TV adaptation. We've had the TV adaptation with David Walliams over here, who writes the children's book, David Walliams. And I prefer TV adaptations to the books, actually. So I think there's a set of 4 or 5. I shan't be keeping those because I won't reread them. So I'll put them down there on my keeping list. And then finally, The Girl in the Red Coat. Kate Hamer. This was her debut and I loved it. Psychological thriller. Another abduction, another scrobbling, as I've discussed earlier. Another scrobbling of a kid. Abduction of a child. It's a true story. I thoroughly enjoyed her writing, and I reviewed her latest book that came out this year. Goodness, I'll put the link down below. I did a review, it's on my Kindle. I did a review for the publisher. something funeral. Doll's funeral, was it? Doll's. I'll look it up. I just can't. It's just gone for a minute, and I'll put it so you can have a look at that. Really enjoyed The Girl with the Red Coat. Really enjoyed her new one this year. Yeah, she's going to be author that I'm going to continue to enjoy, and it's a nice, actually nice cover. It's got a raised button on there. So there we go, that's another shelf. There are a few just left on there, but I'm going to leave them for another video because it's a selection of African authors or African continent based books, and I'm just going to do a little vlog on that in its own right. So yeah, hope that's given you a few more titles to have a look at. Excuse me for looking dishevelled and not my usual self, but hey, we've got loads to do for Christmas, haven't we? It'd be nice to have a sit down with a cup of tea and a nice mince pie. So see you again next time. Bye.